The Grand Majestic Hotel stood tall like a monument of wealth, its entrance guarded by towering marble columns and gold-trimmed doors. Inside, crystal chandeliers shimmered like frozen starlight, and a scent of fresh orchids drifted through the air like a whispered secret. Eleanor Johnson stepped into the lobby with quiet grace. She wore a pale blue dress, simple yet elegant, and held a small leather handbag that had seen better days. Her hair was neatly pinned, her posture steady. Despite the grandeur around her, she didn't look out of place, at least not to those who knew how to truly see people. But most guests didn't look twice, except for one that a woman near the concierge turned sharply, her eyes narrowing. She was in her early 30s, with sleek blonde hair, expensive heels, and a sharp designer suit that matched her sharper tongue. Her voice rang out, smooth and venom-laced. "Excuse me, are you lost?" Eleanor glanced over politely. "Not at all." The blonde raised an eyebrow, smirking, "because this is a five-star hotel, not a retirement home." Several heads turned. The doorman hesitated. The bellboy froze mid-step. Still, Eleanor remained calm. "I'm aware of where I am." The woman took a step closer, clearly enjoying the attention. "Well, you don't look like you belong here. Maybe you wandered in. These doors don't lock during the day." A few chuckles floated from a nearby group. "I used to come here often," Eleanor said gently. The blonde laughed. "Really? Did they let you mop the floors back then?" A sharp silence fell over the lobby. The front desk receptionist looked stunned. Even the concierge looked uncomfortable now. But Eleanor didn't flinch. She looked around the lobby with distant eyes, her gaze lingering on the grand staircase, the carved wooden columns, the piano in the corner. "This place has changed," she murmured. The woman crossed her arms. "Not enough." Eleanor smiled faintly, almost to herself. "No, not enough at all." Just then, a tall man in a dark suit walked out from behind the elevator corridor. He had graying hair, a hotel badge on his chest, and eyes that immediately locked on Eleanor. His expression shifted from confusion to awe. "Mrs. Johnson?" The blonde turned, confused. "You know her?" The manager ignored her, walking directly to Eleanor. "Mrs. Eleanor Johnson? It's really you." She nodded. "Hello, Robert." Now all eyes were on them. The woman blinked, looking between them. "Wait, what's going on?" The manager hesitated. This hotel, it wouldn't exist without this woman. The room fell into stunned silence. Eleanor gave a modest smile. "That's a bit of an exaggeration." "No, it's not." His voice cracked slightly. "When I started here 30 years ago as a desk clerk, you were already a legend. You and your late husband built this hotel from nothing. You were the real owners before the merger." The blonde turned pale. "She owns this place?" "Owned," Eleanor corrected softly. "My husband passed years ago. After that, I stepped away. It was time." Robert nodded, still emotional. "But we kept the piano in the same place, just like you requested." Eleanor looked toward the grand piano. "I remember playing it every Sunday." The blonde woman now stood frozen, her earlier smirk completely gone. I didn't know," she stammered. "You didn't ask," Eleanor replied, with a kindness that stung more than anger ever could. Suddenly, the receptionist's phone rang. She picked up, listened for a moment, then looked across the room at Robert, eyes wide. "Sir, the chairman is on the line. He wants to speak to you. He said it's urgent." Robert frowned. "Now," she nodded. "He says it's about Mrs. Johnson." The lobby, once buzzing with whispers, now held its breath that Eleanor's eyes met Robert's. "Perhaps I came at the right time after all." He gave her a curious look. "Do you know why he's calling?" "I have a guess." At that moment, a set of glass doors at the back of the lobby slowly opened. A man in a charcoal suit entered, flanked by two assistants. He was in his 40s, serious-faced, with a tablet in one hand and a folder in the other. He walked straight toward them. The blonde woman stepped aside, unsure of where to look. The man stopped in front of Eleanor. "Mrs. Johnson, my name is Daniel Reyes. I represent the board of directors." She nodded politely. He handed her the folder. "You may want to read this." Eleanor opened it slowly. Inside was a proposal. Her name was at the top. Robert leaned over to glance. His eyes widened. They want you back. Daniel cleared his throat. No, they need her back. And just as Eleanor was about to respond, the lights flickered at a loud, high-pitched tone rang from the fire alarm. Staff and guests looked up in confusion. Daniel turned sharply. What's going on? The concierge answered, face pale. Sir, it's not a drill. Eleanor's eyes darkened. Something's wrong, she whispered. The manager offered his arm to Mrs. Johnson. Please, allow me to accompany you to your suite. It's ready, and we've placed your favorite flowers by the window. She smiled, nodding her head as if thanking something greater, accepting his gesture with grace. As they walked through the lobby, one employee discreetly turned on the background music, and a soft melody filled the air. Mrs. Johnson walked with her head high, earning the respect she deserved. It was a moment that defined dignity for everyone present. The blonde woman, however, left the lobby quickly, her steps awkward and hurried. She tried to hide her face, as if she could erase the hurtful words she had just spoken. But it was too late. The humiliations had been voiced, the echoes still reverberating through the walls of the hotel. Outside, she called for a ride, trembling, not even looking back. Perhaps, in that moment, she realized her inflated sense of importance, but she didn't leave out of regret. She left because for the first time, she felt true shame. Inside, the atmosphere had changed. The employees, visibly moved, greeted Mrs. Johnson with respect. The receptionist, who had witnessed the scene, apologized despite not being directly involved. It's not your fault, dear, said Mrs. Johnson, taking her hand gently. We freeze in the face of injustice sometimes, but the key is not to remain silent. Soon, the story spread among guests and staff, and as expected, someone had filmed the incident. The video went viral, and social media was abuzz with reactions. Comments flooded in, praising Mrs. Johnson's grace and the manager's response, while condemning the woman's behavior. This woman represents all that is dignified in this world. More Mrs. Johnsons, please. Her elegance moved me. This is true class. Meanwhile, in the presidential suite, Mrs. Johnson gazed out at the city, a cup of tea in her hands, watching as the sky slowly darkened. On the table beside her was a picture frame with a photo of her and her late husband, taken years ago at the same hotel. Did you see everything, my dear? She whispered, a soft smile on her lips. There are still those who think they can trample on us, but today the world saw who we truly are. At that moment, there was a knock at the door. It was a young maid, braids tied back neatly, eyes filled with emotion. Mrs. Johnson, may I come in? Of course, dear, come in. The maid entered, placing fresh flowers on the table, but her eyes were misty. I saw the video, she said softly. I just wanted to say, you inspire me. I was ready to give up. Everything felt so heavy, but after today, I understand it's worth it to keep going. Thank you for existing. Mrs. Johnson smiled warmly and took her hand. Stay strong, my dear. They try to silence us, but our story is bigger than any prejudice. The two women embraced, and outside, the night fell. But inside that room, there was light born from respect, memory, justice, and hope. Justice doesn't always unfold like in the movies. Sometimes it comes quietly, with a steady gesture, a calm reply, a gaze that refuses to lower. This is how Mrs. Johnson faced prejudice, not with shouts nor anger, but with the quiet dignity of someone carrying the weight of an entire people's history. She didn't need to prove anything because her mere existence was proof enough. Her presence in that hotel was an act of resistance against centuries of exclusion, against generations taught to stay hidden, to remain silent, to apologize for occupying spaces of power, comfort, and respect that misses. Johnson did not ask for permission. She entered the hotel as someone who belonged, and when they attempted to humiliate her, the world witnessed who truly deserved respect. This story isn't just hers. It's mine, and it's yours. It belongs to every black person who's ever been looked down upon, to every elder dismissed as invisible, to anyone who's been made to feel like they don't belong. But we're here, taking up space, resisting, and winning Because a person's worth is not determined by their skin color or the clothes they wear, but by the strength of their journey. If this story moved you, don't stay silent. Join our community. Subscribe to Oppressed Memories and share your thoughts in the comments. Pass this video along to someone who needs to see the world with new eyes. And don't leave without clicking on the next video that's about to appear. It's an even more powerful and transformative story. Every time a voice is raised, a memory is freed, and together, these stories can change the world.